In the vast African plains, two animal villages lived on opposite sides of a deep, rushing river. On one side, the grassland animals, zebras, antelopes, and meerkats, roamed freely. On the other side, the forest animals, elephants, monkeys, and parrots, enjoyed the shade of thick trees. But the two sides never spoke. Long ago, a great flood had washed away the only bridge, and ever since, each group believed the other was to blame. Jengo, a young and curious zebra, often stood at the river's edge, watching the forest animals play. "Why don't we talk to them anymore?" he asked his mother. "They cannot be trusted," she replied. But Jengo wasn't so sure. One day, he noticed a baby elephant on the other side, struggling to reach a low-hanging fruit branch. Without thinking, Jengo ran to the edge of the river. "I can help," he called. The baby elephant hesitated. "My mother says we can't trust zebras." Jengo flicked his tail. "I don't believe that. Watch this." He leaped onto a fallen tree branch that stretched slightly over the water and stretched his neck toward the fruit. Seeing his effort, the elephant reached his trunk out and pulled the branch down. The fruit fell, and he trumpeted happily. "Thank you." That night, the baby elephant told his village about the helpful zebra. Some animals scoffed, but others were curious. Meanwhile, Jengo told his friends what had happened. "Maybe the forest animals aren't so bad after all," he said. A few days later, a terrible storm arrived. The river swelled dangerously, and the ground beneath the grassland animals' feet grew soft. Suddenly, a group of meerkats was trapped on a rock in the middle of the river. Jengo panicked. How could they be saved? Then, he heard a deep voice across the river. "We can help." It was the elephants. They lined up, forming a living bridge with their trunks and legs, while monkeys swung across with vines. The grassland animals watched in shock as the forest animals risked their safety to help. The meerkats were rescued, and the villagers stood together for the first time in years. After the storm, the animals realized something. They could accomplish so much more together than apart. Jengo and the baby elephant stood before their leaders. "If we can work together in a storm, we can work together always." For the first time in years, both villages agreed on something. They needed a new bridge. The elephants carried heavy logs, the zebras stomped down the earth, and the monkeys tied vines together to create a sturdy crossing. When it was complete, Jengo and the baby elephant stepped onto the bridge together, meeting in the middle. "From now on," Jengo said, "this will be a bridge of trust." And so it was.